Hello, bonjour, hola. Happy New Year and welcome to the show. My name is Tavian. I am a full-time film watcher and a part-time filmmaker. I am also a law student here in sunny Southern California. I am in my third year of law school and one semester away from graduating. It is both terrifying and exciting to be graduating from law school. I am pursuing a degree in entertainment and intellectual property law. One of my biggest fears right now is not being able to pass the California bar exam. It is a very, very intense experience, so I've heard. Law school has been a great experience for me. It's had its ups and downs, and at times it's been very, very stressful. But thanks to my partner in crime, Joanna, I have gotten through it, and I'm almost at the other side. But anyways, enough about law school. My main passion in life is film watching and filmmaking. And I know it's a cliche to say I've been wanting to make movies since I was little, but I really did. When I was like 5 or 6 years old, my uncles were going to watch this movie called Terminator 2, but they didn't want to allow me to watch it with them because they said it wasn't a kid's movie, rightfully so. But being the curious child that I was, I went to the backyard, grabbed a bucket, put it underneath the window, climbed over the bucket, and watched the movie with them through the window without sound. And honestly, it was the greatest experience of my life, and I loved it. I said, I want to do that. And ever since, I've been watching movies and waiting for my opportunity to be able to make my own movies. Years later, going through the journey of life, I eventually ended up in Los Angeles, California, where I started taking acting classes and film classes and started learning about the business of filmmaking. At the same time, I started working for this company where I started learning editing videos and photos and things like that. And I did that for about a decade almost until I had to quit because I started law school. But throughout it all, my passion for filmmaking never ceased to exist. And that's why I was eventually able to make my first short film, Adristia, summer of 2018. When I was preparing to make my short film, one of my main resources was YouTube and the wonderful YouTubers who were made videos about the processes of filmmaking and were sharing their experiences and their ideas. And after I made my short film, I submitted it to a few film festivals and award shows and things like that because I wanted to get feedback from those places, and I wanted to be able to use that feedback for my next projects and I can better myself. And while I was doing this, it occurred to me that maybe I should make a YouTube show as well and share my experience of making my first short film and share my do's and don'ts and share my mistakes that I made and share all the things that I did right. I wanted to do this because I wanted to encourage other filmmakers like myself, new filmmakers who want to make movies, but they're afraid to take that leap and take that first step. And I wanted to encourage those people, and I also wanted them to learn from my mistakes and learn from my do's and from my don'ts because, like I mentioned, I learned a lot from YouTube. So I wanted to pay it forward and give back to the YouTube community with my experience. I want to encourage other novel filmmakers to don't be afraid and just do it. You just got to do it. You got to take that first step. You got to take that leap and just do it. Both from YouTube videos and from film classes, the one thing that everybody always says is that the only way you're going to learn how to make movies is if you just do it. You just got to do it. That's how you learn filmmaking, is from making movies. And honestly, that's one of the best advices you can get about filmmaking, is doing it yourself. I was very, very scared to make my first film. It took me about 2 years to work up the courage to actually get to making of the movie. I started writing my script, I think it was summer of 2016. I started writing it, I finished the script, I redid it quite a few times, but it took me about 2 years to finally work up the courage to actually film the movie, like I said, in the summer of 2018. And it was honestly a very, very terrifying experience. It was very stressful for me. It was just backbreaking, but at the same time, you know, it's a passion and I love doing it, and I would and I will do it again over and over and over. And honestly, it is a very stressful process. And if you're, you know, in it for the money, or if you just in it for the fame, it's honestly probably not going to work out. That's one of the things that they always tell you in film school, because you have to be able to put up with the stress, put up with the hard work. You know, you keep getting knocked down, you just got to get up and do it again and do it again. Throughout the filmmaking itself, the process, there's so many things that can go wrong. So many things do go wrong. You know, you fall behind. A lot of things happened for me throughout the process. You know, as I mentioned, a lot of mistakes. There are things that went wrong, and you just have to be able to, you know, just snap back and improvise and go through it. You know, as they say, the show must go on, but the show must really go on, because there are other people there relying on you to get, you know, keep the show going. You know, it's not just one person show. There are, you know, other people, there are other actors, there are, you know, the crew, there's everybody, you know, that is waiting on you. So if something comes up, then you just have to, you know, improvise. You got to go around it, you got to go over it, you got to go under it. You just got to keep going. So as I mentioned, in this show, I'm going to be mostly talking about my experience of making my first short film. I'll also do reviews of, you know, great films that come out, how they do things, how things happen. As I learn from myself, I'll share my experience. I want this show to be a learning experience for me and for, you know, whoever that watches it. I mostly it'll be about films and filmmaking, but sometimes, you know, I'll talk about other current events if something important happens, or, you know, any pop culture references or things like that. But mainly I want this to be a learning experience for new filmmakers like myself. So in the next episode, I'll be talking about the first step of filmmaking, which is writing. You know, you can't make a film if you don't have you don't have, you know, an idea or something to make. So the very first step of filmmaking is writing, putting pen to paper, coming up with an idea and writing about it, and making a story that has, you know, a beginning, a middle, and an end. I will share how I, you know, brainstormed for my idea, how I came up with my idea, how I wrote the script, what I did to prepare for writing the script. This was my very first script. I have worked for other people. I've done little, you know, jobs here and there. I've done editing a lot, but this was my very first script from writing from the beginning to the end. Based on my experience, writing is probably one of the hardest parts of making a film. And in the next episode, I'll go into detail as to why writing is one of the hardest parts, and what goes into writing and things like that. And I'll share the experience of how I wrote and how I started writing the script for my film. As I mentioned, I really hope that this show is a learning experience for anyone who watches it, and I hope that it is useful for anyone who watches it. I'll do my best to do weekly episodes, but as I mentioned, it is my last semester of law school, so I kind of have to keep up with the work with that. So if not weekly, I'll do my best to do every other week or so episodes. All right, guys, before I say bye, I want to give a big shout out to my really good friend, Bradley Black, who did the music for my short film, Adristia. He is a really, really awesome musician and an even better person. If you have any feature projects, short film, feature film, any type of shows, anything you have, be sure to check out Bradley Black's website. I'll put it below in the description. He's a really great guy. He's very easy to work with. Any type of project you have, he will be sure to cater to your project, and he works with any budget, so don't be shy, don't be afraid to contact him, and he will definitely help you out. I also want to give a big shout out to my two best friends, Adam and Felipe. Adam, who promised that he'll watch every episode of the show. He also helped me come up with the name of the show. And Felipe, who promised that he'll be my first subscriber. Thank you, guys. All right, guys, that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel so you can stay tuned for more episodes. Also, please comment below your suggestions or questions. If you have questions about anything, I will be sure to respond to them in the coming episodes. Thank you, and see you next time.